Crafters, Lisa here from Fun Stuff Crafts. So glad you could join me for another Inspiration Friday. So the air is starting to get a little chilled in the mornings and the leaves are starting to change. And so I thought it might be fun to add another fall decor project into our Inspiration Friday. Now we did our pillow wraps and that was one way to do some decoration, but this week we are going to make these super cute fabric pumpkins. I've had so much fun making them. I've made 3 of them already, and this is the one actually we're going to be making in the tutorial, so I can't wait to show you how quick and easy these are to make. Scrap material definitely can use for these, and they are just so much fun to add a little bit of decor. Absolutely love decorating with pumpkins this time of year. By the way, you guys, if you are just stopping by my channel for the first time, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. We've hit over 4,000 subscribers, super exciting. Our next goal is 5,000. So if you like this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. Please make sure you subscribe and also add a comment. Let me know what you think about the project. I love to hear from you guys all. So hang tight. Give me a second to get my camera angle changed and I'm going to join you at my craft table and we are going to get started making these really cute fabric pumpkins. Okay, crafters, so let's get going on this project. I am just having so much fun making these cute fabric pumpkins. So I made 2 of them already. We're going to make a 3rd one. I think next I might switch up the sizes a little bit. These have all been the exact same size, but they're just so much fun to make. And you guys, scrap material you can definitely use with this. So let me show you what I started out with. So I have got 1 piece of fabric that I have measuring 22 inches by, Lisa should have turned her mat over. Let me grab my little mat here. Can't believe I can't remember what that measurement was. I thought it was 9 inches. Yes, 22 by 9. So 22 long, 9 inches in height. Now, I think next time I'm going to try a little bit smaller one, but this size, 22 by 9, is what's going to make this size of cute little pumpkin. Okay, so super easy, you guys. You're going to start out with this fabric. I also have 8 little squares cut 3 inches by 3 inches. Okay, and what they're going to do is they're going to make these cute little leaves around the pumpkin. Okay, so the next thing I have is I went out to my yard and I just cut a twig and I cut a little top off of it. I think actually I'm going to use this one. I like the thickness of it, and that is what I did to put the center in my pumpkin. Okay, then I grabbed some raffia, and you can either use embroidery floss, or I picked up some of this wax cord out of the jewelry section up at Walmart, and I'm going to actually use it for this one, and then a tapestry needle. And when I say tapestry, what I'm meaning is it is a needle with a large eye in it. Hopefully you guys can see that. So this is going to thread very easily through it. Okay, now I am going to make 1 seam on my sewing machine, you guys, but if you do not have a sewing machine, you can definitely do it by hand. So let me put some of this stuff off to the side for a minute. What I'm going to do, the very first thing we're going to do is we are going to fold over our fabric. And I'm just going to run over the sewing machine really quick. Normally I take you guys over there, but this is the only seam I'm doing all night. So right there, I'm just going to do a seam right down there, and then we'll get started again. So let me run over there and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I've got my seam done, just a straight seam there. So what I'm going to do now is, before I turn it around, I am going to thread up some of my cord. Now, if I was using embroidery floss, I would double it up, but this wax cord is pretty thick, so I'm not going to worry about doubling this up. If you guys check out the blog post that I've got on this, you guys will see that I recommend that you double up everything, and that is why, because I was using embroidery floss. So all I'm going to do is what I refer to as a basting stitch, and I'm just going to go in and out, all the way across. I can start to work that through a little bit, and it's just a very loose basting stitch all the way through. Sometimes the tapestry needles have a little hard time coming through, and then you add to the fact that I've got a wax cord going through the material, so you might need to work it just a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to work it all the way through. One thing I did forget to mention right at the beginning, you guys, from the supply standpoint, is you do need stuffing also. You can grab stuffing from an old pillow. I happen to have some polyfill on hand, and I'll show you that when we get to that point. Okay, so now I've got that running stitch going through there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cinch it up. Okay, so I'm just going to cinch it up just like that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a knot in my fabric. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to knot it up really good, and I like to do 2 just to make sure. And easy as that. Okay, hopefully you guys are following me so far. I'm going to clip that. I'm going to keep my thread because I'm going to be using that again in a minute, and then we are going to turn this right sides out. Okay, so very easy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stuff my pumpkin. So this is what I forgot to show you guys at the beginning. Polyfill. I just picked this up at the store. You can get it on Amazon. I'll have links to everything down below. But now you're just going to stuff it to however much you want. You can't really overstuff these because there's just so much play in it. But one thing I do like to do is I do like to push it down, and I'm taking little pieces of my stuffing out and doing it little. It kind of helps so you don't have like big bulges, I guess you would say, where you don't want them. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and I think I'm pretty well filled. Okay, feeling pretty good about that. I can try to shove it down a little bit, but I think that is looking really good. So you guys, this is the 3rd pumpkin I've made out of this bag, so I can definitely get a lot of pumpkins out of this bag. So now I've still got my thread threaded, or if you guys used it up already, you just go ahead and thread some more. And what we're going to do now is I like to start where my seam was, and I'm going to push through, and now I'm going to go all the way around. So whereas before we had it kind of doubled, or we did not kind of have it doubled, we did have it doubled, our fabric. This we're going to go all the way around. Okay, so I'm just going all the way around. And you know, you guys, I've also seen people make these out of instead of using some of your fabric stash, I've seen people take old shirts, like flannel shirts, and make them. Go to the thrift store and you can pick up. I just have such a stash of fabric, so I had fun going through just looking for some of my fall colors in my fabric, kind of deciding. And then it was really fun looking through my scraps to find something to contrast for the cute little petals that are on it. Now, you don't have to do the petals. You guys, you know, there's lots of good deals. I mean, you can go up to the Dollar Tree and you can find some maple leaves that you could use and glue some of those on. You could put some more twigs on. I just love the idea of the little contrasting color with the leaves. I thought that just turned out so cute. So last year I made pumpkins and I made them out of sweaters, and I'll make sure I put a link to that one down below so you guys can see that. So each year I just love decorating with pumpkins, so it's just so much fun. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to cinch together, and I'm going to make sure that I end with my thread going on the inside. Okay, And what I want to do is I want to have my stem handy, okay? Because I'm going to cinch it, but I want to make sure I can still get my stem in there, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my threads here, and I'm just going to pull this, and see how we just cinch it up, okay? So what I want to do though is I want to make sure that I've got a hole there that I can get, but I don't want to leave any more than what I need. So sometimes what I like to do is just leave the stick in there and then just tie a knot. And sometimes it's a little bit easier that way, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and tie a knot there. Okay, so that's in there nice and tight. Just for the heck of it, Lisa's going to put a third knot in there. Okay, so I'm going to trim my threads there. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we've got our glue gun heating up because we'll need that after this next step. And what we're going to do now is we are going to add these creases to really make it look like a pumpkin. So I like to use a good amount of thread for this. Just so I make sure I don't have to re-thread my needle during this process, because you are going to be pulling it tight. I'm not going to need this much, but I just like to thread extra in there. So I'm going to go ahead and thread my floss. And again, I'm using this wax cord. If you guys are using embroidery floss, you would want to double it, but this wax cord, there's no reason to do that. So now what we want to do is we've left our little hole for the twig. What I want to do is I want to take my needle and I'm going to push it through, and I want it to come out the other end because I want my knot to be on the inside when I start. So it takes a minute here to get it through and you really got to push it. This is where sometimes this long needle is good. It's really being ornery for me today. There we go. Got it pushed through. You just got to squish it really good, you guys. So then you've got your knot is on the back, on the inside, okay? So now all I'm going to do is I am going to repeat that step, and I am just going to pull it back through again. And you know, it depends on how many creases you want to add in, okay? So like this one, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have the same here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 5's been pretty much what I've been doing. So I'm out, I'm gonna come, and the order you guys do it, this is totally your decision how you want to do it. I kind of like to go across, and then I kind of fill in from there. After we're done with this part, you'll be able to see we can move them around a little bit. So if I bring this guy over here and see now, as I pull my thread through, I have got 2 of them, okay? So that first one. And sometimes what I like to do is to make a little knot so that it is, I don't have to pull everything through. So I'm just going to thread this one time just to kind of give it a little bit of a tighten so it pulls it in. And you can see we're starting to make our creases. So I'm going to wrap it around, and I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. So again, you guys do as many as you guys would like. Just pull it, and you can see we're really having fun here. So I'm just going to pull it around again, and it's always fun to get that needle through all that stuffing we've got going on, you guys. So let me, and then making sure that I pull my thread all the way through. You see, I've got 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do one more here. I'm going to pull that thread all the way through. Pull that nice and tight. Okay, so there I've got these guys all done up. Okay, so then what you want to do is knot this on the bottom. And at this point in time, you guys, I really like to just take my needle out. I've got two ends of my thread, and I just tie a knot. That way I know this is not, there's no chance of this coming undone. I'm just going to do two of them, and then I'm going to clip. Okay, so then what I can do is I can kind of play around with the spacing if I want to turn this around at all. Okay. Okay. And there we have it. So see how cute they are? It's taking shape. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to start working on our little leaves, our little petals. Okay. So I've got 8 petals. So let's make sure Lisa cut out 8 here. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. So since I cut that thread, I'm going to thread up a little bit more. So what we're going to do is we are going to make the leaves from these squares, and we're going to fold them in half. And this is just such a cute technique. I saw someone else do this, and I just love the whole idea of it. So very easy, you guys. What you're going to do is you're going to fold your your square in half to make a triangle, and then all we're going to do is we're going to take our thread and we're going to do the same stitch we've been doing, in and out, in and out, and I'm going to go around the other side, so it's going down both of our raw edge sides. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is pull it all the way through, go to the end of it, and see how I just squish it together and it makes a cute little leaf. And then I'm literally just going to go to the next one. So we're just going to make a chain of all of these leaves. Okay. And then we are going to attach these. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue on doing this, and I will join you back as soon as I have got all these done. Okay, so now we've got it all the way done, and what I want to do is I am just going to pull it through and make a complete circle. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull it right through, and I'm just going to make another extra stitch there, and we're going to knot it up. Okay. We are going to slip that over once we put our stem in place. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just put a good knot in here. Make sure it's coming between. Okay, and we'll use some glue to really get that in place good. Okay, so one more stitch and we will be set. Okay. I'm going to trim that off and we'll work on the stem. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our glue gun and we're going to put a good amount of glue right down in that hole we left. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we are going to insert our stem. And I like to push him down into that hole. I have a little crooked stem on this one. Okay. Now, we've got our little leaves all put together, and I've put that closing stitch on there, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert him and just kind of see what it's going to look like. think that looks really cute. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to take that back off, and I'm going to add a little bit more glue all the way around. Okay, and then we're going to stick this in. Now, one thing I do like to do is I like to play with it a little bit. And where I had that opening, sometimes what I like to do is just to add a little bit more glue underneath. So that way I know that my leaves are gonna look all complete. Okay, I think that looks cute with that stem going off to the side a little bit. Okay, the final step we're gonna do, you guys, is just to grab some raffia. And how much you guys do, you guys might want to use ribbon, whatever you guys want to do. Mine's knotted up real good here. And so I'm just going to clip off a little bit of raffia, and I am going to just tie it around my pumpkin. And I just make a knot. Sometimes I have to tie it and then put it down in, especially when I've got a smaller size here. Okay. And then I'm just going to tie that really tight. And I normally put a second knot in it, just so I know it's going to stay. Okay. And then, this is just playing with it, you guys, however you guys want to do it. I like to kind of clip mine a little bit shorter, and then I just have them sitting out. So let's take a look. Let's move my glue gun away, and let's take a look at these cute pumpkins that I've got all done up, all ready for my entryway table, kitchen table, wherever you guys would like to do them. I really think though, next one, you guys, is I'm gonna make one a little bit smaller, or even a taller one would look really cute back here. So I'll take some more close-up pictures so you guys can see it. I hope you like this Inspiration Friday project, making these cute fabric pumpkins. Thanks for joining me. Another Inspiration Friday project in the books. I hope I inspired you to try this DIY tutorial on making fabric pumpkins. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and click on the bell, and YouTube will alert you each time I upload a new video. If you have any questions, please leave comments below, and don't forget to check out my blog at funstuffcrafts.com.